Yeah, man. So that orange is the new black. Is off the hook. Oh, we in the building. Yo, it must be,
Tuesday. It must be
and that it
Tuesday.
is. Yeah, and we on an early tip because we're gonna get all the trolls and the miscreants and the peons and the riffraff out the way. Everybody got a joke tonight. Everybody's funny guy. Everybody's got a joke. Everybody's got cleaning products. They got their brooms and Pine Sol and
Fabulosa.
Fabuloso, and you know what I mean. All of that. Um, we ain't going down that easy. I already know World Series in the building. Um, for whatever it's worth, myself, left-handed at RM Des on Twitter, which is this right now. You already know. Over there is YADABEAR, aka Browski. She's having the time of her life right now. What's good with you, Browski? What's happening? What's happening?
Oh man, living the dream.
Ah.
Another
What you
day,
say?
another
Uh-huh.
victory.
Uh-huh.
Um, people was talking a lot of trash about us going to Cincinnati and you know, everybody looking like, oh, you guys been 0-4, haven't won Cincinnati in years. Everybody coming at, Jalen Hurts, he don't got it, blah, blah, blah. And, what what do we do? We go to Cincinnati, 20-point victory.
That's a humble brag for a Tuesday night, y'all.
That's all I can say.
It's Browski in the house, a humble brag. Or yo, my man Chuck, all you Cincinnati Bengal fans, send your emails to Browski. But she's right though. Hey, you want to jump into that? I mean, because I mean, the World Series is gonna be on. Yeah, let's jump into the NFL thing. You know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the Eagles are not a bad team. And again, at the end of the day, you are what your record says you are. There you go, Browski. You are what your record
There
says
you
you are.
go. There you
You got
go.
it together. But yeah, I think the Philadelphia Eagles, man, did they gain back a modicum of respect? Yes, and you know who from, Browski? The people who threw them under the bus.
Yeah.
Now they're ready to get back on the bandwagon. And here's the thing: as not an Eagles fan by any stretch of the imagination, I get where you're coming from, Kimmy. This is what we go through as Buccaneers fans. When the Bucks is doing a Super Bowl run, everybody was a Buccaneer fan. Knock it off.
Mm-hmm.
But fast forward to right now where we are with your Eagles. I think that a victory like that puts y'all right back in the mix, in the conversation where you should have never left in the first place,
Exactly.
if you ask me. But I just want to get your thoughts on that going into Cincinnati against a team that's allegedly supposed to be one of the teams that's on the come up. And you guys showed up, tush push, and all that. So where
Yeah.
you at? What are your feelings going into next week? And let's get into a roundabout talk about the week 8 in NFL.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate seeing Jalen Hurts in the center more, especially with us being a run first team, which we should be from the jump. It seems like we kind of finally found our identity. As the big wigs like to say it. We found our identity on the field. We are a power running team, and having Jalen Hurts on the center majority of the time is extremely important because it helps Saquon in the run game. He doesn't have to run, 5 yards to get 2 yards, from Jalen Hurts operating out of the shotgun for majority of the season. Even though Saquon was still busting out, some pretty decent runs, it was he had to put an extra effort because he's starting so far behind, like 5 yards behind. But going to Cincinnati, we haven't played well in Cincinnati. We haven't won there in like 4 years, so to finally get a victory there was great. Um, Start out the game, a little shaky. We still can't score in the first quarter. That's an issue. That's something that we still have to work on. We can't, for some reason, we cannot score in the first quarter. I feel like we're like the only team in the league who hasn't scored any points in the first quarter. which is wild to me. You know, but when halftime came, we made the proper defensive adjustments, and Jalen Hurts finally was able to get the ball to Devontae Smith. He has been very quiet since coming back from his concussion. Last week he had like one catch for like negative yards. So to finally get him a touchdown on the board, he got a couple of receptions, got him moving. AJ Brown, you know, as always, very active out in the field. And then Jalen Hurts went back to Jalen Hurts form where he's making the proper decisions of when to run and when not to run. I like um, the Kellen Moore offensive plan where it wasn't all RPOs. It was some RPOs, some pistols, some offset. So it was, you know, we was given a lot of different looks. Um, the offense didn't look stagnant. It wasn't predictable. So, you know, hopefully we can keep building off of this going into this upcoming week when we're playing, you know, our former coach and Doug Peterson. You know, Jacksonville coming in to Philly, and it's not a good Jacksonville team, you know. So the way that we're playing, hopefully we don't take a step backwards and play down to our opponents. Our defense looked amazing. I definitely want to give big shout out to rookie Cooper DeJean, you know, coming to form out there. Quinyon Mitchell has been doing this thing for the whole season. For him being a rookie, he has a very veteran-like presence on the field. Um, Isaiah Rogers came in, made a heck of a play by batting the ball towards CJ when he got the pick. Um, we was basically beating Joe Burrow up in the second half. Like he couldn't, he was running for his life out there. Couple of sacks, defensive pressure on the line. So I mean, we are, you know, coming along fairly well. I don't expect us, you know, to be undefeated. 5-2 right now. I think it's a great record, especially with a new offensive coordinator and new defensive coordinator. So I'm definitely pleased with where we're at, and hopefully looking for more victories. So what's going on in Tampa?
Nothing worth talking about.
It's been you you had a
Um,
rough week. I'm just saying, you
yeah,
know, you had a rough week, bro.
yeah, we you know can't really do much with our top two receivers out, but I'm not going to use that as an excuse. But you know what? On some real stuff right here, I'm getting ready to do what we do. We're going to switch this thing up because that's what we're here for, right? Game
Yeah,
4 of the World Series, Yankees and the Dodgers, right?
all right.
Um, Everybody's coming prepared for a funeral. We got Luis Hill, the rookie, on the mound tonight. All right, trying to make something out of this season. Myself and YADABEAR talk behind the scenes. This is like more of like of a bullpen game for the Dodgers, basically, which means they're just going to throw caution to the wind with a 3-0 lead. Um, you know, I mean, you know, we haven't shown up this series, and here you go. You know, Mookie Betts gets a double, one out double in the top of the first. So the Dodgers are getting it from every corner. Um, you hate to see them, you know, sweep the Yankees. I haven't seen a sweep since 1976. I was 10 years old. We got beat by the Big Red Machine. But you know, never mind all of that. I just think that this offense, you know, for all the talk, you know, from April, May, June, July throughout the season, it
Mm-hmm.
comes down to one game. And you win this game, it'll come down to game 5. You win game 5, it'll come down to game 6. You put yourself in this position, you know. You don't really want to cast blame on everybody, but you know, in today's situation, today's society, we tend to blame the ones who make the most money. So that's like you, Aaron Judge. Um, and again, I think I'll base that on, you know, what we've seen in this postseason, you know, in totality. But we can't really even discuss that because we got to survive today. The Dodgers, aren't really beating us like that because again, Otani hasn't really done a lot. You know what I mean? I'm no disrespect, but he hasn't. But go ahead, Yada. Talk about what your thoughts are in regards to this World Series.
I mean, to be honest, this World Series has been very lackluster. Because our stars are not showing up and showing out. This is supposed to be wow. As I'm saying that, Freddie Freeman just hit another 2-shot home run. That's wow. But the quote unquote stars, the Shohei Otani and the Aaron Judge of hasn't shown up. Those are the ticket sellers, and those are the guys that was performing all season long. Giving us a show. So what we was talking behind the scenes, I'm kind of calling these two guys regular season guys. They're not showing up in the postseason. I mean, we can say, well, Otani had injured his shoulder, but even before the injury, he wasn't showing up at all. And now, going into this elimination game, and what do you do in the first inning? You give up a 2-run home run. You setting up, you playing like this game is like game two. This game is starting out like every game of this series, and there's no tomorrow after this game. I don't. Hopefully, we'll see a sense of urgency when these guys are, at the plate. The weather is actually in New York's favor. Whether it's raining, it should be a gritty game, and it kind of starting out how every game has starting out this season, and making plays like that just happened, um, not getting out.
Yo, check this out.
It's crazy.
I feel you, and I want all the vitriol. I want all the smoke because it's coming. I get it.
I mean,
and
listen.
it's well deserved. Go ahead.
What did we say? We had 62 home runs last season, and now he's giving you nothing. I mean, we haven't seen a sweep in the World Series since 2012 when the Giants swept the Detroit Tigers. So it's been 12 years since there was a sweep in the World Series, and it's crazy that we are upon the New York Yankees getting swept at home in 4 games against the Dodgers. This was supposed to be a historic World Series.
Right.
The build up. As soon as we seen who made it, was like, oh,
I called it before the season started. So Yankees
like,
and
oh,
Dodgers.
this is historic. This is what the people want. This is what the people want. And like I said in the beginning, this has kind of truly has been kind of lackluster, and it's because the Yankees didn't show up. The Yankees still think that they have, another couple of games, like this is just a weekend series. Like, no,
right.
like you don't go back to LA after this, This is it.
I mean, you go to LA, you can go to LA if you want to and shoot commercials and do all that and play golf and all that. But again, at the end of the day, this is supposed to be important to you, man. American League champions, you scored the most runs in the league this year.
And you can't score shit.
You scored the most runs in the league this year. This shouldn't be no excuse. I'm not really interested in hearing about, okay, Aaron Judge, but what about everybody else? We ain't talking about everybody else. We talk about Aaron Judge, who's supposed to show up a little bit. I mean, you talk about Giancarlo Stanton, who wasn't really expected to produce and contribute like that, but look at him.
He has.
Absolutely. So you talk about the other guys, the Rizzos, the Verdugos, whatever. You know what I mean? Again, Jazz Chisholm, he's an extra piece. We were supposed to have better pitching than the Dodgers going into this World Series. That hasn't shown up at all. Especially that hasn't shown up at all. We were supposed to have better pitching than the Dodgers, and I didn't really see it. I didn't really see where we had that much better pitching than the Dodgers because Garrett Cole had a nice season. Marcus Stroman, I don't know what we was doing with him. And Carlos Rodon, the same thing.
I
I mean,
mean, the
Louis Hill had a
bullpen was
nice season,
supposed
but
to
look at him
carry
out there
y'all.
now. Clark Schmidt. I mean, look at these guys. The guys that we throw out there, we don't know what we're going to get. So I wasn't really feeling that part about how our pitching was supposed to be that much more dominant than the Dodgers in this series. But the Dodgers got a team, yo. That's how you win.
When I looked at the series from, at the beginning, I thought that the Yankees bullpen was better than the Dodgers.
Ooh.
I didn't expect, Nestor Cortez to come out there and give up the goods in game 1, and then he turned around and gave up the goods in game 3.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect Smith to come out there. Yeah, it was just three and a half, maybe 4 innings yesterday. So I did, yeah, I didn't expect that. It's been a wild series, and it's been a lot of questionable choices by Boone. Especially in game 1.
Especially in game 1.
I
mean, in retrospect,
he was rolling. He was rolling, and then you take him out, and then the bullpen gave up the goods. And then it seemed like from that game, the Yankees could never catch back up.
I mean, from that perspective, when you look at it, for me, I think that it's October, it's the World Series. You know what I mean? All leashes or whatever pitch count, it's off. If he's pitching a brilliant game going into the 7th and 8th, let him rock out.
Let him rock.
And again, I think that when Garrett Cole, who's supposed to be setting the bar,
yep.
You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be your guy. So why would you pull him when he's pitching? Like, to me, it's one of the the best game 1s until it got late. You know what I mean? So I think that Garrett Cole did his thing, and you trying to save him, you trying to save you, or you trying to save the team. Because if you're trying to save him, that ain't make no sense, because that's what you got him for, to pitch those big games.
Listen,
if you're trying to save you wilding out.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're trying to say you've been making wild mistakes all this postseason, but it got you to a World Series. But now look at you. But if you're trying to save the team, what are you doing? You got us down 0-3 at home, down in the first inning of the elimination game.
2-0.
Now what we doing?
2-0.
Reggie Jackson ain't walking through that door.
To Derek Jeter.
No.
It's sitting in the booth.
You know what I'm saying? Watching this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What you gonna say to him? We gonna get him next year? We don't talk like that, yo. And especially you ain't been in the World Series since 2009, and this is what you give us. And I'm speaking as a Yankee fan right now. This is how you give it up. We've been talking and defending you and giving it like how it's supposed to be given. And this is how you treat us as Yankee supporters, and you know what I mean, rocking the hat and all that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Arguing in the barbershop, on the block, whatever. And this is what you give us in October. Because what I say in May and June, Browski, we don't play for May and June.
Nope, we play for October.
We play for October. And the worst part about it is that you're going to get swept. And I don't want to put it in the air like that, but look at your body language. Every game in this series, the Dodgers get out to a lead.
Yeah. And it seems like it's happening in the first 2 innings.
As soon as Freddie Freeman get up, it's 2-0.
The quickness.
So that's every game. So they putting his name on the MVP trophy as we speak.
Oh, they chiseling that thing in right now. They calling that thing right now.
But I mean, when you say for me, and I keep it on the eye, man, I could take it as well as I could dish it out. I mean, I expect it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't think, I would think less of if people didn't, say, well, the Yankees did this, that, what they didn't do. And again, that's why I say I'm my own worst critic of my team. Because when you're going good, it's like, all right, whatever. But when you're going bad, it's like, it's what it is. I think that's what separates us from different, fans across the country. It's like, nah, we're not, no, we're not, no, 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 no. First of all, you make too much money, okay? And let alone the years that you should have went and you didn't go when you got beat by Houston, you got beat by Boston, right? You got beat by Cleveland. So again, at the end of the day, it's like now you're supposed to show and prove.
Yeah.
Now is when you're supposed to earn your money. Now is when you're just basically getting outplayed by a team that wants it more. Look at this. Look at this. Now we got some controversy. Look at this. You see Mookie out there in right field? Look at this. Man, this is about to get crazy. Yo, it's game 4 of the World Series. I remember the World Series, the Yankees and the Dodgers when Reggie stuck his hip out. And it's
what
a whole
they
bunch
doing
of
out there?
Yeah. So look at this. He's actually fighting Mookie for the ball. Look at this.
Yeah,
look
like
at this.
exactly. Get out of here. Like
he's actually taking the ball out of Mookie Betts' hand. Look
like he's trying to justify that. Oh well, it's right here. So
but he's fighting and taking the ball out of his glove.
He's trying to take the glove off it.
We live right now, yo, down in this sports.
No, it's crazy. If y'all not watching this game, it's nuts. He's actually grabbing the ball
out of his glove as Mookie Betts is jumping into the stands in right field to make a catch
off of Mookie Betts' hands. It's like, what are you doing? That's wild.
He's getting escorted out the stadium right now.
Believe
that.
Yeah, and
believe that he's getting escorted out the stadium. Believe that.
Sure his season tickets has been removed. Like that's crazy.
But that's what it is. It's the Bronx. Anything can happen. Let's go to those performances. First of all, Ice Cube did his thing. Can't front. The bow down. Throwing the Yankees in there. That's the art of a great MC. When you could, do your thing. You could slide it in different lyrics, depending on the scenario and the situation. Then he did was a good day. All right. Which park are y'all playing baseball? Right? Freaking Yankees every way like Kobe. Like he just kind of really went. And the part that was bugging me out is when Verdugo is like this. Like, come on, yo. You know what I mean?
He vibing real hard with Q.
Then we go to last night. And Fat Joe, which I did not agree with at all. I heard a lot of great suggestions from people. They was like Jada Kiss. They was like Wu-Tang Clan. They was like Jay, which would have tore it down, right? But they elected to go with Fat Joe. I don't know like what that was about. And that performance was one of the wackest, like lackluster, no energy, just being out there to do what actually, you know what I mean? And here's the thing which really killed me about the two performances. You don't walk on the pitcher's mound.
Yeah, I thought that was wild too.
You don't do that. You don't walk on. You don't do that. You don't walk on the pitcher's mound, yo. And when I say that, I mean look at Ice Cube's performance when he kind of like gave it up for Fernando Valenzuela because they had the number painted on the pitcher's mound at Dodger Stadium, and then you got Fat Joe all over the pitcher's mound. Yeah, you don't do that, yo.
Over the pitcher's mound.
Hey, I mean, there's no explanation for that. So again, at the end of the day, the baseball gods was like, nah.
I mean, you know what? Fat Joe performance kind of went with how the Yankees came out and played yesterday.
That's true.
Lackluster. He set the tone. And I mean, we can go into why Fat Joe was there. Fat Joe has become like the ambassador for New York City now since since Diddy has gone down. It seems like they just throwing Fat Joe everywhere. It's he's like Mr. New York right now. It's wild, but for them to have him perform yesterday, I thought that was a little wild. The dream person would have been Jay-Z, but he ain't. I don't see that ever happening.
I mean,
Um,
especially when you down 2-0.
yeah.
Um,
So
you
Hove
know,
ain't
so
coming in there like that.
Hove,
But
you know, Aaron Judge is up there. Got a full count, bottom of the first inning. Yeah, this is a bullpen game, right? Kasparius is pitching for the
yeah,
Dodgers. Like
that's what
they
I'm saying.
just
This is
we
this
spin the
is the
bill, spin
game
the
for
bottle, and say,
y'all.
"Hey, you start. Kasparius, you pitch tonight. You open it up."
Exactly. Like if this is the game for y'all to come back to get back in it. Like if y'all lose this game on the bullpen game, is really like y'all just didn't want it. This
I
is
think
a gimme. This is a gimme game for you guys right here.
we haven't been out of any game in this series. We just did not hit in crucial situations with men on base. Um, and I think that shows that's more of a reflection of what the Yankees haven't done. And I think that anything else is just added on because again, you look at the scores of the games, we haven't really got killed. You know what I mean? I'll
Mhm.
take a 4-2 loss if you show up, Browski.
Yeah.
But if you don't show up, 4-2 might as well be 14-2.
Yeah. And
You
now
know, and
you
you don't
got two
score till
walks
late.
back to back. Now you got back to back walks going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
You got two men on, one out. You gotta get a hit. You gotta get one. You have to get one of these guys across. There
And
should
you
be
got Jazz,
no.
Jazz Chisholm up. If you talk about a guy to have up that needs a big hit in a situation like this, it'd be Jazz Chisholm. I think he started off. I was one of the guys that said the Yankees should go get Jazz Chisholm. They went and got him, and he started off hot, but in the postseason he hasn't been that. It shows he's hitting 170 in the postseason. Again, a hit right here would do a lot for him, a lot for the Yankees. But man, you can't try to swing for the fences, man. You can't try to
Exactly.
swing for the
All
fences.
you
You
need is a
gotta,
base hit. It's just it's get a base hit. That's
just
all you
make
need.
contact, man. Don't hit into no double play, man. You know what I mean? That's been the
Exactly.
Yankees' problem too, not being able to move runners over when runners in scoring position. When runners in scoring position,
Oh,
there's
he's
a
swinging
foul
for the
ball down the right
fences.
field line. When runners are on second base, they're in scoring position. So right now, the Yankees have runners at first and second,
Mm-hmm.
less than 2 outs. So again, this is a big spot where we can try to at least try to get back in the game because every inning that goes by, is getting the Dodgers closer and closer to that champagne and getting us closer and closer to being a not a victim, but I kind of like say a victim of our own success, if that's what you want to call it, with American League champions didn't show up in the World Series. And I gotta say, at least the Mets would have won a game.
Wow, that's saying a lot
You know what I
too.
mean? I mean, again, at the end of the day, I gotta say it. I gotta say it like it is, man. Again, this team is not even showing the effort, And again, I remember the last time the Yankees in the World Series against the Phillies. You know what I mean? That was a team. You know what I mean? No, the Phillies didn't sweep us. No, we didn't sweep the Phillies. It was a tough, grinded out World Series, and the Yankees won. So
Yeah.
again, at the end of the day, that's all you would want out your team to grind it out. And if you come up short, then so be it. But you want
Yep.
to see a team win and at least try to at least show up in crucial situations. Everybody can't go in a slump at the same time.
Especially not during the World Series.
Right. Everybody can't go into a slump, and you making the Dodger pitching really look good because these guys was like, what they was like, look at Walker Buehler last night. Like, where
Walker
did this
Buehler
come
was,
from?
yeah, he was killing it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So again, this lineup is too good, makes too much money to be looking like it is in the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I said. The Yankees are in serious trouble right now. You mean to tell me that you're gonna let the New York Liberty beat you to a parade? No disrespect, but again, salute to the New York Liberty. But again,
Yeah.
this is what you play for. A chopper over the bag of second base, moving the runners over, and Chisholm is barely out at first. All right, so a productive out, if that's what you want to call it in today's
Mm-hmm.
day and time. Yeah, Basky, I just the Yankees are going to be ridiculed. They're going to be scrutinized. They're going to be picked
Yes, they
apart.
are.
A lot of these guys probably won't be back. You know what I mean? Starting with I think Aaron Boone because like we talked about behind the scenes. I think it's time for a new voice. He's been around too long. Again, I think this is right here shows the epitome and the whole it says everything about his reign as manager. He finally got the team to the World Series, but you don't show up. You know, what is your thoughts about how a team was supposed to feel going into an elimination game at home when you're making all this money and in front of your home crowd against a rival, a World Series rival?
I mean, you gotta have a sense of urgency. There's no tomorrow. There's no tomorrow. Every at bat has to be your best at bat. Um, I need to see, some type of fight, something like these guys are going up there, like, there has been lackluster for the past couple of games. And like I said, there's no tomorrow. So they need to be um, playing with a sense of urgency, trying, trying everything, trying anything to get a run across. You may even have to bunt, like right now. Stand, you just go out there and you swing on the second pitch, a trash pitch with runners in scoring position. Like, you have to be patient at the plate, and he's just swinging at junk. You just seen
Absolutely.
this. You just seen this guy walk two guys back to back, two guys, and you swing at the second pitch. It's wild. Like, some of these guys, they go up there, they extremely anxious and they want to swing at everything. But it's like, if I'm
You
sitting
shook,
here and
scared
I
to
and,
look.
and I just seen him walk two guys back to back, his control, he's out of control. He has no control right now. And you swing at the second pitch, that means that, to me, you're trying to get home quicker. You're trying to go on bed. You trying to go on vacation. You trying to speed this game along so that you can go on vacation. Like, you must have a flight to catch somewhere. It's wild. But what you gonna do? I say,
Yeah,
let's just move on from this World Series. It's toxic right now.
if the World Series is toxic right now, let's jump back. Okay, we're gonna jump back into now. You know what? Let's talk about this. Get a Liberty some burn.
There you go.
Um, they had the New York Liberty had the parade. Salute to them. They got the
Nice
job
crowd.
done. It definitely was a definitely nice turnout, as it should have been, and
Yeah.
they got what they deserve, and again, we got to respect them. Um, but on the other side of that, there's been a plethora. We passed the word of modicum. Now we're going to use the word plethora of coaching dismissals, changes,
Mhm.
firings, all
Yes.
over the WNBA. And I just thought that maybe we could kind of like talk about why that's happening, or teams that are just trying to be get caught up, because a lot of those teams did not make the playoffs. You know, even though the Indiana Fever did part ways with their coach, and they did make the playoffs. But I think that that's part of an overall situation where they're going to probably look a little different next year, and then they're going to be expected to win a title. Connecticut Sun, they parted ways with Stephanie White. You know what I
That was
mean?
surprising to me.
Yeah. So I
That was
think
very
maybe she
surprising.
might go. I think she might go back to Indiana. I think so. She used to coach the Indiana Fever at a time.
She
If
she
I,
did.
okay.
She did. But that was very surprising. I did not expect Connecticut to make that change. They had a really good season this year.
Yeah, they had
They
a decent season.
they
Absolutely.
had a really good season. They fell short in the playoffs. Um, but for them to let the coach go, that was a little wild to me. Now, Christy Sides, I mean, I've
Mm-hmm.
been calling for Christy Sides to go
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
since the
Sure
beginning of
have.
the season,
That's right.
because um I said she wasn't the right coach for them. She brought them into the season ill prepared. You
Mm.
know, it took until the Olympic break slash All Star break for them to really start gelling together. But I'm like, all off season, you know, to put your guys, to put your players in better position. And it was like she didn't know how to incorporate Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark on the court together, and she was also not utilizing, her other players. Um, I can't think of her name now.
Kelsey Mitchell.
Kelsey Mitchell. She was extremely underutilized. Nynisha Smith. Also, it was like she just I just said that she wasn't the right coach for him. I see the front office also recognize that, and
Right.
I feel like
That's
and,
crazy.
yeah, and I feel like if there was a position for them to get better at, it wasn't head coach, and I agree with it. So maybe they'll bring in a veteran. A lot of people or was speculating that the Iowa former Iowa coach will come, but I don't know. I don't think I would like to see that. You know.
This is something I was pondering, and I seriously pondered because you just made me think of it as you said that the Iowa coach. What do you see Dawn Staley? Do you see her becoming a WNBA coach in any time in the near future?
Um. No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
So she's going to stick it and stay with the South Carolina with the
Yeah,
NIL
I feel like
deal, and
she.
transfer portal, and all that.
Yeah, I feel like she's more comfortable in cop. Now, I'm not saying that she wouldn't be able to coach in the
Right. I hear
WNBA,
you.
but I feel like what her role is more than just a coach. Is also as a mentor, and I see that she looks to like mentor these young ladies.
Mhm.
Help them find their way through life, and I feel like she probably fits better in the college world. Everybody's not meant to be a professional sports head coach. You know, Sometimes sticking in college is the way to go. I mean, look at Urban Myers. If you want to look at basketball, look at my man that's in what's his name? Paterno. You know,
Um,
he was a better college basketball coach than.
Rick Pitino.
Yeah, I mean Patino. Yeah, he's a better men's college basketball coach than he was in the NBA. You know, but I just feel like some people just need to stay in college. I mean, look what happened to Chip Kelly when he came to the NFL. It was it was fly, it was fancy for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then everybody had tape on you, and after that, you couldn't do anything. I
That
feel
was the
like
biggest play. That
sometimes
was the biggest play of the World Series right there.
that
The double play.
the devil play.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Finish your thought, Bosky.
But yeah, I feel like she'll stay in college. I have seen online that there has been some rumbling also in Seattle where some of the players are not really happy with the Seattle head coach too. See some things on Twitter, some comments, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy too because Seattle had a decent season,
I
So
mean, if
I,
Connecticut can let their coach go,
yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I feel like anything is possible, and I think they see that um you when you have a talented team and you fall short in the playoffs, sometimes the right move, maybe you may need a new voice in the locker room.
a la,
Sometimes the
a la the New
improvement,
York, a la the New York Yankees. I mean, we
yes,
took it as far
sometimes
as they
the
can go.
improvement that you need to make
Mhm.
is at the
From
top, is at
within,
the head,
right? From
you
within,
know. So
absolutely.
we'll see what happens. Also on the lines
Hmm.
of women's basketball, don't
Hmm.
forget you got the Unrivaled League should be starting soon. I believe it starts in November. Um, Games will be played on TNT. They even have
Yeah,
TV.
I've been hearing a lot of talk about that. I think that that's going to be great. That's going to be
Mm-hmm.
another revenue stream for these young women.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that again, it keeps them from having to get their passport stamped and things of that
Mm-hmm.
nature. Maybe they'll bring some of that talent from over there back over here, since now you know what I'm saying. So we
Yeah.
can kind of reverse that polarity for a second, you know. Because I would imagine that, if you have a league like that, that's, parallel to what's going on overseas, and you get more exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the WNBA is going to be looking and watching, and I think it's great. So again, the women's basketball thing is in good, it's in good hands. But again, Browski's not going to feel like it's really there until they got a franchise in Philadelphia, which is absolutely correct.
Exactly.
And I think they're making the right strides. They filling themselves by, incrementing, 4 games. The last couple of seasons it went from 36 to 40. Now it's going to 44.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but all the talk about, the Caitlin Clark's coming in and the Angel Reese's coming in, and all only thing it did was to show, put a bigger spotlight on the league and show the league that the league can survive and subsist and exist without a lot of help from Big Brother. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Again, so when you talk about the future of the WNBA, the New York Liberty, can they defend the title? Hopefully, will we get a super run? I don't know, because again, you got a lot of superstars on this team, and then when you win a title, then things start to happen. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So again, New York Liberty represent for New York to the fullest. You beat the Yankees, you beat the Knicks, you beat the Rangers, you beat everybody to the Canyon of Heroes, and you deserve it. So again, the city supports you, and the city came out in
Yeah. It was good to see the
big
city out
numbers.
there.
It represented. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
It
again,
was dope.
yeah, salute to the New York Liberty. Anything you want to say to kind of like summarize the season, Bowski, in regards to WNBA?
Um, this has been one of the best seasons the WNBA has had since the WNBA has begun. Like I said, so much talent coming from out of college. To be able to ride that wave into the season, and it kept it going even through the Olympics. The Olympic wave, and then come back and finish off strong with um, the New York Liberty, winning the championship. It was a lot of storylines. Caitlin Clark, rookie of the year. MVP voting. You got Aja Wilson winning the MVP. The Aces were trying to three-peat. You got great matchups in the playoffs. You had a second round playoff series with the New York Liberty and the Aces. That's you could look at that as a WNBA final. And then you had teams like Connecticut Sun, um, the Lynx,
Mm-hmm.
um, Seattle. A lot of teams had caught up with the Aces and with the Liberty. You
Right.
know, the competition is not just these two bi-coastal teams. Now it's spread it out, and now you have the up and coming, new young group that's um just taking over the league. You know, and you mentioned Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Aaliyah Boston, Lakia Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
You have all of this young talent that is going to just make the league even better.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
got another team in Golden State coming in, and then you look at this upcoming draft where you have the likes of Paige Beckers, Fly J Johnson, um, Juju. You just have all of this new fresh talent that's just keep coming in and expanding the league, bringing in the fresh talent. It just makes the league seems more competitive, and it's just very refreshing, you know. And it's great to see that everybody is now on the WNBA train. I'm not even gonna call it a bandwagon. I'm gonna call it a train. Everybody, there's room for everybody, And I love the fact that more and more men are now watching it and not afraid to admit that, hey, I'm
Right.
a
Right.
WNBA game,
Right.
or afraid
Right.
to admit that, hey, that
Right.
game was pretty dope. Did you see
Right.
the end of this game, or yo, those calls was wild. Like the rush with Messi, in this game. So I'm loving that. So it's not just females watching it; everybody's watching it, and I'm just happy to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what grows the league. And then and again, you have, um, like you mentioned, men, watching, again, putting more eyes on it and making it, able to be talked about and discussed in a serious manner, not just like, okay, we're going to give it 3 minutes of time and all right, it's a passing fad. It's not. It's here.
Hmm.
And it's only going to get bigger and better. Salute to the New York Liberty WNBA champions. We're going to jump back
Yeah.
to the NFL. Grosky asked me earlier about my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, we're dealing with some injuries and we're dealing with, some things, but, we've never been a team that, beat you in the head with a bunch of excuses. I already said, that my secondary was trash. Kirk Cousins threw for 509 earlier in the season against us. Came back and threw for like another 276.
Yeah.
Again, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's my team. Gotta love them. But we don't know what to do with prosperity. You know, Tom Brady's not walking through that door anytime soon. I Todd Bowles for all you've been getting away. With the fact that the Buccaneers have been playing decent football the first half of the season. But games like this kind of expose you and show. Even though Evans and Godwin out, I give you that. We'll give you that absolutely. But the guys that you have on the team are supposed to show up, you know, and do what they're supposed to do as far as helping to win a game. But again, 31-26, loss against the Atlanta Falcons. Um, Now we're 0-2. Don't worry about the division. If it comes down to that, don't worry about it. So we're basically playing for a wild card scene. Do I respect what Baker Mayfield has done? I have to, right? But when Baker's baking, but sometimes the bakery comes out the oven a little too early, and
Yeah.
he gets flustered, and then when that happens, it becomes consistent. You know what I mean? Because he overthrows, he throws an interception, and he a bad play, bad play, bad play.
Hmm.
Now you're gonna have to really be careful about how you move now because your two number one targets are out,
Yeah.
out, out.
I mean, I
You know
kind
what I
of
mean?
blame Todd Bowles for the Godwin because I'm looking like, bro, why he still in the game? You know, the game was out. The game was gone. It was done, and I'm like, why he still in the game? He could have avoided that, but it is what it is. I mean, speaking of injuries, Stephon Diggs, another one. This season has been this season of ACLs. You
Right.
know, Brandon Ayuk. Now we got Stephon
Yeah.
Diggs. Um, what you gonna do with the Texans now? I have been very high on them, and now it's like Nico Collins, hamstring. Hamstring also has been a very common injury this season. He's still on the IR. Now you have no Stephon Diggs. That wide receiver room is looking very very thin out there for CJ Stroud and D'Amico.
Right.
And when we look at that division, it's not the toughest. It's actually one of the weakest divisions. Um, the Colts just announced that they benching Anthony Richardson for Joe Flacco. Um, which is wild because your man Anthony Richardson said he had to come out the game because he was tired.
Yeah. That was yeah.
I never heard
Well, you have
anything like
now,
that.
and welcome to the new age quarterback. You have now.
I never heard anything like that ever in my life. He said I had to come out the game because I'm tired. What is he,
That's
23,
that's
24 years
almost
old?
that's almost about, or to me that's worse than So how to mess a killer rally. Jesus Christ. It's worse than, I hate to bring this up, but I am. When Donovan McNabb said he didn't know the rules, the overtime
rules. Oh my God.
Right. So again,
embarrassment.
I brought that up. I brought that up to say, when you have, what are we dealing with here, Kimmy? What are we doing? What are we doing? You get paid to play a child's game. There's certain stuff you're supposed to know and carry from the playground, Browski. Come on, we've been playing this game forever since we was kids. And the playground, on Madden, right? So again, like, how do you not know what to do when that situation calls itself? What do you think about that? What's your vibe on that?
Yeah, no. When it happened, we was all looking like, "What are you talking about?" It was embarrassing, just like Anthony Richardson saying, "I'm tired."
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's
You don't admit
embarrassing,
something like that.
and it shows that you don't want to be here.
Mm.
You don't want to be here. You don't want to play here, because I got these other guys who's busting their butt, destroying their body, for you to come to the sideline and say, I'm tired. And I'm tired. I'm just going. I'm gonna take myself out the game. I'm tired. So it's like, all right, well, I better put this 40-year-old quarterback in
who wants to play, who ain't tired, right?
Yeah, then have to deal with your nonsense. And
hey, listen, Browski, I'm gonna call it like it is, yo. With a petulant child.
Yes.
You make enough money, you know what I mean? And it always comes back to that, because that's what it is, right?
Yes. It's always come back to the money.
When you talk about you tired, that's like Scottie Pippen. Do your homework. Wouldn't go in the game with 2.8 seconds left in the game.
Yep. Because he wasn't getting the ball. Because the play wasn't for him.
Right.
He didn't want to get in there.
But see, I parallel that, because you admitted, that's like, to me, to a football player, as the quarterback, as supposed to be the quote unquote leader of the team.
Yes.
To say you tired.
We go where you go. And you said you're tired. So
that's gonna be a different vibe in the locker room.
Oh, the vibe is done for him. I can't trust you.
Right. They're gonna have to trade him, huh?
Yes. That's the ultimate betrayal right there. You gave up. You gave up on us. You gave up on us. You gave up on the team. So now I can't see them going back to him this season. And I wouldn't be surprised if we hear that the Colts are looking to move him.
I wouldn't be surprised either. Especially after a move like that. I wouldn't want that on my team.
No.
That's a disease that spreads. If the quarterback, the highest paid player on the team, the alleged star, the face of the franchise, can say, I'm tired.
Yeah, he gave up.
Not that my knee is bothering me. I feel like a twinge in my wrist, or
he said, I'm tired,
or I got a headache. He's tired.
He's tired. He's tired. So I don't know what they're going to do. With the Colts, it's a weird situation there. Something else that was weird. Was the Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Washington. I gotta put that on Chicago's defense, because why are you giving him so much cushion?
I'm looking at Caleb Williams on the sideline.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
You thinking the game over? You think the game is over?
You did your thing. Whoop-de-woo. And then I'm looking at Jalen Daniels get away from the pressure, like he's out there playing a video game, and he just let it go. And then I'm looking at them, instead of, what did they teach you, Bosky, on that Hail Mary situation? To knock the ball down.
knock it down. You
They
don't.
got the ball up in the air, and
Yeah,
my man
you
just
knock it
said,
down.
let me just drift it in the back.
Yeah.
And look what I found.
Yep.
Game winning touchdown.
Yep. Because
That's what winning teams do.
yeah,
That's what teams who are good
they,
do.
they found a way to win, and in that situation, people know that the two most dangerous guys in a Hail Mary is the guy in front of the pile and the guy in the
Yeah, in the
back of
back.
the pile. That's where you want to position yourself. You don't want to be in the middle. You want to be either in the front or the back.
Because that ball's going to pop up somewhere. Yeah, it's going to pop
Somewhere.
up.
Yep. It's either going to go to the front or it's going to go to the back.
Right.
And this time it went to the back. My
And
man was able to grab it in and touchdown.
the
Game
rest is
over.
history. What does that say about, or what do you do as the Bears now? Going past that, getting past that, moving on in the season.
Well, you gotta look at that as it was a lucky play. It was a lucky shot. You know, you can't let something like that hold you down, make you go backwards because the Bears had actually been playing pretty good. That game was actually a pretty low scoring defensive game.
Mm-hmm.
Gritty game, and it came down to like the last minute of that football game where Washington was able to stop Chicago, fourth and goal. Chicago, was able to get the ball right back and drive right
Mm-hmm.
back down, and then they scored what they thought was the winning touchdown. All the come to find out that this Hail Mary play that only works a handful of times
But when it works, it's
that night.
lovely.
Worked
Mm-hmm.
that night. Um, the Dallas Cowboys. What's
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Dallas Cowboys are, gonna do what they do until they get it right. They lost again against the San Francisco 49ers. Um, I think that the Cowboys are heading, to a place that they're not familiar with, but they put themselves in that position. Um, I'm not gonna, say 30-24 is a bad loss, but at this point in the game, any loss is bad, especially the way they've been losing.
yeah,
They've already been, they don't defend the home field at all. You know what I mean? So you got to go out on the road and win. But
yeah,
when you play against a squad like the 49ers, um, you got to make it do what it do. And they didn't do that. So again, we're looking at a upheaval and uprising in the NFC East. And I think it's going to probably come down to your Eagles against the Commanders.
yeah. I mean, the NFC East had always been a two-team um race, and this year, surprisingly, that second team is the Washington Commanders. Um, with me being an Eagles fan, I'm not used to seeing the Cowboys struggle like this during the regular season. They generally wait till January
After
to
Thanksgiving,
after Thanksgiving to implode. You know, as like they always do. This year, I guess they decided, we're just gonna skip that and we're just gonna just start imploding early
early,
in the
yeah, we
season.
also implode early.
Um, this is definitely, I can see that this definitely probably will be Mike McCarthy last season as the Cowboys head coach. Um, I could probably see them struggling for a bit because they tied up a lot of their money between two guys, and
Mm-hmm.
one guy is not producing, and he's just throwing the ball away. It's crazy, and you went against a 49ers team that
Also
still
was dealing with
missing.
some
Yeah,
injuries, right?
Christian McCaffrey hasn't been there.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon, you just lost Brandon Ayuk. Debo sick. So it was a heavy George Kittle game, and I will speak about George Kittle later on. But it was a heavy, George Kittle Brock Purdy game.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah. Okay, Bowski, I feel you. Come on. Come on.
What are we doing with the Cleveland Browns? They got some life with them with James.
Um, well, all I'll say to y'all, Cleveland Browns, get ready for the most illmatic pep talks that you ever heard of your life. It's about to go down. Hard body karate. Um, the team, when they respond to the quarterback like they do, it just shows. They weren't responding to Deshaun Watson. They don't have to worry about him anymore. From the injury perspective, and they're responding to Jameis Winston. And maybe he's one of those times where you have to be in the league and bounce around a little bit. You put yourself, you believe your own hype. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And he had to go through some stuff, and now he's in a situation where he's not really expected to, do a lot. Um, and now there's no pressure, and that's what I mean by that when I say not expected to do a lot. There's no pressure.
Yeah.
You got a good team. You know what I mean? Amari Cooper, notwithstanding, you traded him. You know what I'm saying? So what? You know what I mean? The Cleveland Browns are a team that people should pay attention to now, just because of the play at quarterback and how the team is responding to Jameis Winston.
Hmm.
Um, where are you at with the Minnesota Vikings?
Um, they can't beat the Detroit Lions.
And listen,
They take, um, you know, they may be turning into a pumpkin. The clock might has struck midnight with them. They're in a very tough division. You're not gonna win every game. Like I said, you're not gonna go undefeated. Um, they're still pretty good. It's still a good team. I still believe in Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's been
that's
playing.
what I was waiting for you. That's what I was waiting for you to bring. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
Sam
that's fair.
Darnold.
That's fair, Browski.
Yeah,
7
Sam
games,
Darnold
five and
has
two.
still
All right, that's right.
been playing well. Um, like I said, they got a tough division. Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago. That's a tough division. That's the toughest division in football right now. You have four teams that's actually playing really good, and you got two teams that's playing lights out. So I still believe in Sam Darnold. Um, speaking of Detroit, Detroit right now is looking like the best offense in the NFL. It's ridiculous. How they put up 52 points, and Jared Goff had about like 87 yards passing. Like, what is going on there? Like, you
I
know,
mean, you got to take into effect who they played.
no,
You know
that's
what I
true.
mean?
But when you see
Um,
the one put up 80 50 something points, and you're thinking, oh, they must have been throwing the ball everywhere, and
right,
the
you're right.
quarterback
And
only got 85 yards. Just like, well, what was
well,
going on?
hey, Browski, what you say? They was running the ball everywhere,
Yeah,
and then
that
they
was
had the
running.
punt
Yeah, it's like,
return, and
well,
you know what I mean? Yeah, so they was doing their thing. So again, the Lions, um, have something to play for in regards to Aiden Hutchinson being out.
mhm.
Again, a win is a win is a win is a win in the NFL. You take it as it comes. I think this year finally we're gonna get a good, decent Thanksgiving game out of Detroit.
Yes,
I mean, as far as the Bears and the Lions playing, that's going to be a pretty good game late in the
yes,
season. Um, and that's where we at with it. Down in Sports Talk, man, we in the building. We going overtime tonight. We got a few more minutes left. Myself and YADABEAR, Browski's in the building. Win Walker is on a mission. He is on his way to an event. Salute to him. What are we doing with let's throw a team out there. Let's throw a team out there. The New York Jets, Browski. Let's talk about the Jets, and then we're gonna move on.
that's what I think about Jets. The Jets is a laughing stock. The New York Rodgers. Let's call it what it is, okay? The New York Aaron Rodgers, because this guy
The New York Aaron
has
Rodgers.
gotten everything that he could ask for, and still not producing. Well,
Yep.
we looked at them playing against the Patriots, you'll think, all right, well, this is a team that they can probably bounce back on. Try to fix it.
Get right. Mm-hmm.
A give right game, right? No, not at all. Drake May, started out the game looking pretty good. Then he got knocked out the game, you know. Um, and Aaron Rodgers is, I'm just going to say it here, and y'all can get mad for me for saying this if y'all want, but Aaron Rodgers is washed.
Mm.
He's done. Um, he can't make throws anymore. Can't make the back shoulder throw. His decision making has always been questionable, but is even more questionable now. Um, he's
You see
forcing
it.
the ball. He
You see
doesn't
it.
take any accountability,
You see it.
and it's wild.
Yeah, I
It's,
absolutely.
it's wild.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, the truth is coming out. I'm waiting for people to say, start talking about the same old Jets. You know what I mean? Even though with the young stars that they have, the quarterback that was supposed to come in and change the franchise's fortunes. And remember what we said earlier in the season, we don't want to see him looking like Joe Namath when he was on the Rams. You know what I
Well, that's
mean?
exactly what it's looking
That's what
like.
it's starting to look like. You know what I'm
But
saying?
but but
So,
guess what? It's his
uh-huh.
fault
Right,
because it's his fault because how you not show up to training camp, mini camp? You don't get any type of rapport with your receivers. Then you want to point your fingers at the receiver saying they're the problem.
mm.
Then we bring in your receiver. You wanted Adams. Okay? You get the head coach fired. He's out the door. He's going shopping. They catching him coming out the supermarket, being a regular guy.
You can't even buy. You can't even buy his Golden Grams a piece.
Yeah, and you turn around and you guys are still not winning. So it wasn't the coach fault because that's what the coach don't do. He don't play.
Right.
He deals with X's and O's. He don't deal with execution on the field. That's what you pay Aaron Rodgers to do. But you let Aaron Rodgers run and do what he want to do and bring in the guys that he want to bring in, call the plays he wants to play, and look at the results. Look
Right.
at the result. You
That's
guys
right.
are out of the playoffs. You guys have no chance of making the playoffs. Your season is over. So now your decision should be: do we bring this guy back? Do we look to draft a quarterback? Because I'm looking at the Jets. If you go into next season without even considering drafting a
Right. Without
quarterback,
even considering. Right.
you
Right.
gotta
With the
consider
quarterbacks that are
draft
coming
one.
out. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't consider that, then you guys are just looking to repeat what you had for the last two seasons. Because last season it was Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson was trash. But guess what? Zach Wilson had a better record than what Aaron Rodgers giving you right now.
Mm.
So who knows?
Yeah,
That's bad.
that's about it right there. I mean, again, when we talk about it, we're at the halfway point in the season. We kind of, things starting to clear up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as the pitchers are concerned with the divisions and the postseason and things of that nature. You guys start talking about it
Separation.
now. Yeah, as we get into the halfway point of the season. Anthony Rizzo pops up with the bases loaded, and now they're 2 outs at the bottom of the third. Again, you're seeing the last of Anthony Rizzo in a New York Yankee uniform, straight like that. Um, I just feel like again, he stays hurt. He comes through and he hits a home run here or there, but we don't need the home run when the score is 9-2. We need the home run when the score is 2-1. So again, I think that we have chances to score, and there we go right there. Volpe, deep, 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 deep grand slam for Anthony Volpe. What are we doing? Grand slam for Anthony Volpe.
Uh-oh.
And the
Someone's
Yankees
smiling again.
lead. And
Somebody's
Browski,
smiling.
listen.
Somebody's smiling.
Listen. Um, you know, that's And I hope Aaron
Somebody's
Judge is
smiling.
looking at that. Aaron Judge is looking at that and saying, "Wow, Anthony Volpe, right?"
Was that your,
So,
was that your number nine? Was it number
no, I
nine
think
hitter?
he's like
No,
I
number
think
seven.
Verdugo's ninth. He's like 7th or 8th or something like that. Verdugo's ninth.
bottom bottom of the order coming through.
Bottom of the order coming through. And you see how you manufactured those runs. You got walks, you got stolen bases. So
Yeah.
again, a win is a win is a win. I'll take it. I just don't want to be
Well,
getting
I
swept.
just wouldn't jump out the building, so it's still early.
It's still early. It's still early, but you got to use that momentum. You got to
You
use that
got to.
momentum. You know what I'm saying?
You got to.
Down in Sports Talk, we in the building. We the two best that's doing it. Even though Browski likes the Eagles, it's all right. You know what I mean? And Browski likes the Phillies, it's all right. And my Yankees, she's delighting in the fact that the Yankees are down 3 on the World Series. Look over there. Look over there. You know what I
Listen,
mean? Look
look,
over there. She's
look.
delighting in the fact that we down 3 over
Listen,
the World Series.
I said in the beginning, I said if your man Aaron Judge ain't hitting, it's gonna be a long series.
Um,
And he still ain't
it,
hitting.
it still ain't hitting Browski. Everybody in the lineup is hitting except for
Except for
Volpe
this
is
guy.
hitting.
It's a
Volpe
problem.
is hitting. You know what I'm
It's a
saying?
problem with Roby's hitting grand slams
Grand
and
slams. You know what I mean?
Aaron
Like, what are we
Judge
doing?
can't get a
He
drupal. He
can't hit the ball
can't
off
get a
the
single.
infield.
He can't.
What are we getting down on this week, Browski?
Well, I gotta get down on George Kittle. I mean, excuse me,
Yeah. Go
Nick
ahead. Talk about
Bosa.
it.
This guy, Nick Bosa, at the end of the Cowboys game, Brock Purdy's doing an interview. Nick Bosa comes from behind with a Make America Great Again head. This is the same guy that a couple years ago, I'm going to say, what was it, 2014? When Colin Kaepernick was doing his protests, kneeling during the national anthem, where he called Colin Kaepernick a clown, call him a clown. Just the same guy that has tweeted and retweeted a lot of racist, homophobic things. He had liked a lot of things. And at the um at their at their press conference, he was asked about it, and he said, "Oh no, I don't want to talk about it. That's not what I'm here to talk about." But you made yourself the subject by putting that hat on and making yourself known on TV for no reason. This is the same guy that says, "Oh, we shouldn't talk about politics." This is sports. We shouldn't mix sports and politics.
Right.
But you're doing it, and you're doing it on the same team that 10 years ago you said this guy was an idiot for peacefully protesting. And you know what that hat does to people out here. We all know what that hat represents, and I feel like the NFL needs to make a statement about this because it's turning a lot of people the wrong way, and we seen things from Nick Bosa, we seen things from George Kittle, we seen things from Christian McCaffrey. Those group of players hang together, and they all have like a common,
Denominator. Which is
denominator. They are, super Trump supporters, and you can support who you want to support. That's your thing, but that's something that you may want to, you know, keep private. I miss the days where we didn't know who each other was
right. You would
voting
be
for.
offended if somebody asked you who you voted for.
Yeah, but
Right.
now it's like that's the thing.
Right.
We all got to know who you voting for.
Right. Right. That's right,
And
Kimmy.
I
That's
just
right.
feel
Talk
like
about it.
we should go back to those times where it's none of your business. We could talk about anything you want to talk about. But when you ask me, well, who you voting for in the presidential election? That's a question that we should never ask each other because it's none of your business, and because I don't want to look at you in a different light because of who you support.
Right.
No, because now that makes me look at him differently. It kind of made me look at the organization differently too.
Okay.
Because this is what you allow your players to do. This is cool because something like that can definitely split your locker room.
Absolutely.
And make it a toxic environment. So I just feel like that was poor judgment on his part. I feel like the NFL may need to step in and make a statement, and I think that should be considered a rule. Like, you can't be supporting candidates out here, on this NFL platform. Like, if you want to do it on your own platform, that's cool. But when you on this field, playing this game in my jersey, you leave all that noise behind you. You don't discuss that. You discuss the game. We don't discuss politics. So Nick Bosa, I feel like you're a clown for that. You the clown.
Very, very well put. Very, very well put. Respect. I'm gonna get down real quick before we get up out of here. I'm gonna get down on Fat Joe. His performance before game 3 of the World Series left a lot to be desired. Was uninspired. Whoever set that up, it should be fired. Those bars right there was better than anything.
That's better than anything that Fat Joe did yesterday. I mean, look how the Yankees are playing now. They put up 5. They got 5 on the board. Fat Joe performed.
Grand slam by Anthony Volpe. Still no appearance by Aaron Judge as of yet. Volpe's doing his thing. Look at him turn the double play. Bong bong. That's what I'm talking about. So we go get up out of here and end the show on a good note. All right. You can put up all your cleaning products for one night. Your Fabuloso and your brooms and your Pine Sol and your Woodlight and all that. You can put that up. Down in Sports Talk, man. We out the building, man. Myself, left-handed at RM Desk on Twitter, which is this right now. And that's my Cody. I holding down the fort. YADABEAR, we in the building. Make sure that you get your picks in. Do what you do. Week 10, pick your guy. It's coming up. Week 10, pick your guys. A very close race. Somebody's creeping up on a come up. I ain't gonna say no names. But y'all better watch out, man. Somebody's getting hot. Somebody's getting hot with their picks. I ain't gonna say no names. Down in Sports Talk, we out. Salute. Win Walker, wherever you are, salute, my guy. Star, I'll be there in a minute. And this is my crew right here. YADABEAR's in the building, even though she's a Philadelphia Eagles fan. She's going to be a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Rock that. Browski, I'm out. Thank you. Appreciate you. Peace. We out, y'all. Peace. Oh, be safe. Halloween. Be safe.
Yeah.
Be safe. And be safe next week. All right. All right. So we're going to leave it at that. All right. Y'all be peace. And we'll see y'all next week. Oh, we're going to do a show next week?
Listen,
are you voting?
No, I already voted.
Oh, you voted already? All right. Okay. So we're going to be in the building. We voted to show up next week. So that's what that is. All right. So we already won. We'll talk to y'all next week. Y'all be peace.
Peace.
Yeah, all right, go home. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. You got to go, but you got to get the hell up out of here. Yeah, so, okay, 39, 40, do why is this thing still go?